Hello, and welcome to presenting the IDPP for the Instructor Core Competencies course. This presentation will provide an overview of the IDPP for the project, including a summary of the needs analysis and statement, an overview of the ethics summary, the learning and performance outcomes and alignments examples, various instructional strategies that will be used in the course, instructional and supporting or supplemental resources used in the course, the various delivery methods that will be used to deliver the course, an overview of the assessment plans and types offered, and a current estimated timeline based on today's date. Flight Safety's pools of instructors report to either a European Aviation Safety Authority or EASA program or a Federal Aviation Agency or FAA program. While these regulatory authorities have their specific requirements that must be met, they also share some common elements that have been trained in the past haphazardly from learning center to learning center. This non-standardized training, as well as unpracticed and untrained updates by the authorities, have led to increases in non-conforming training or NCTs. Since each NCT could potentially cost flight safety tens of thousands of dollars in retraining those affected, as well as having letters of approvals from the authorities revoked, it was decided that a standardized delivery method needed to be developed. After this presentation, you will have a better understanding of the complexity of this issue and why a need exists for a rebranding of flight safety instructor training. You'll be able to describe the various instructional strategies, delivery methods, and how users of the updated course will be evaluated. Finally, you'll be provided a somewhat detailed timeline accurate to today's current date that shows what is due, when it's due, and what milestones must be met for this project to meet its beta delivery date to EASA. EASA instructors have been required to take the Synthetic Flight Instructor or SFI Part 1 course as their theoretical knowledge requirement. Since the creation of this course nearly a decade ago, EASA's updated requirements to include upset and prevention training, or UPRT, as well as introducing a new concept, competency-based training and assessment, or CBTA. Neither of these are currently adapted in the SFI Part 1 course. While flight safety simulators have been updated to include the concepts in the cockpit, materials for training the clients have fallen behind, even though EASA trains to a higher standard than FAA. FAA instructors have been subjected to a confusing offering of training courses, from the Instructor Training Course, or ITC, to the various levels of Professional Instructors Course, including the EPIC, PIC, and APIC, and the newly developed Basic and Advanced Instructor Training, or BIT and AIT modules. With the exception of the BIT and AIT, these courses were designed and developed by non-trained personnel, which resulted in a less than adequate offering, resulting in less than standard instructor training. After researching these issues, and with the rise of NCTs from instructors of both EASA and FAA training, the Regional Director of Training proposed a complete rebuilding of all course materials, merging the common elements of both EASA and FAA into one offering for all instructors, the Instructor Core Competencies Training course. Following the handoff of the project to teammate training, a work breakdown structure, or WBS, was evaluated and a course proposal submitted and approved. When designing and developing the individual modules, inclusivity and accessibility will be among many of the new protocols. This includes closed captioning for the hearing impaired, as well as utilizing the alt text concept for images that will be standard throughout the entire course. Looking further into ethical and legal issues that may arise, we can safely state that all laws regarding content reuse and repurposing will be a non-issue. Most of the information will come from current FSI-produced content and updated information as supplied by via government authorities, which we are legally allowed to republish and reuse without issue. Furthermore, the newly implemented European General Data Protection Rights, or GDPR, will be a non-issue as well, as all images used with current and past teammates and clients are legally allowed to be republished due to document sign-offs that everyone, including teammates and clients, must be provided during any learning session. Due to the size and scope of this project, all learning and performance outcomes and their alignment are not possibly allowed to be captured here. As an example, each unit and module, and there are currently 9 units recognized, will have an overall learning outcome associated with it. Each unit will have at least one learning module, most will have more than one. Each module will provide additional scaffolded content associated to the unit, and each module will have their own learning and performance outcomes associated with it. This alignment of learning outcomes with performance outcomes and expectations will ensure that the instructors will be provided a standardized necessary delivery of information, concepts, and materials that they need to be effective in the classroom. All of Flight Safety's clients are adults. As such, utilizing sound adult learning science, or andragogy, in the development of instructional strategies will be current and based on current best practices and latest trends. Some of these include designing with the end in mind, or backwards design. As mentioned previously, will be designed using accessibility in mind, utilizes a strong visual and user interface design to create a minimalistic yet dynamic learning experience, incorporates the latest EASA required CBTA concepts throughout as comprehension checks for instructors to become familiarized with, designed with multiple learning styles in mind, and designed in a scaffolded or building block approach, teaching from the known to the unknown. To support the training, various instructional resources are also being developed concurrently with the module design and development. These include professionally developed lesson plans for each module and units as a whole, supporting hard copy materials such as handouts and guide sheets in PDF format, which are provided directly within the modules via a resources link, professionally designed infographics to visually relate concepts into images, and external websites which are linked to further information as needed or desired by the instructor. The project calls for the SFI Part 1 course to be delivered electronically via e-learning modules hosted on the Flight Safety's Learning Management System, or LMS. Each module is designed as a self-paced micro-learning experience. New instructors will be enrolled via their director of training within their home centers, while current instructors will be notified and self-enroll as needed. There are also several opportunities for a blended learning experience, as the e-learning provided is followed by hands-on training with actual training instructors in an instructor-led training, or ILT, environment. This will primarily take place for the final unit, the training administration, but the entire project can be used as support for ILT at any time. Thus, it truly provides flight safety with the best of both worlds, an all-inclusive standalone self-paced course, or one that can be used as support for ILT and live learning events in flight safety trainings, web conferencing software. Nearly all of the modules will provide a formal assessment following the training. These are primarily traditional type assessments such as multiple answer and choice, short answers, fill in the blank, and true and false statements. However, using the authoring tool's built-in options, less traditional methods of assessment will also be provided as inline knowledge and competency checks, including drag and drop interactions, image clicking, and matching. This also provides instructors an introduction to the CBTA concept that they will be trained on in a separate module. By applying CBTA concepts within the modules that are training them, they will begin to see the benefits of this concept and how easy it is to implement these in their own course development. The project officially began in late December of 2019. January 2020 saw it handed off to teammate training and the instructional designer for work breakdown structure estimates. February saw teammate training in Farborough in the United Kingdom, collaborating and dividing up responsibilities, which were later added to the project charter and course proposal. Content curation and consolidation started early February, with continuing research as the project moves along. March saw the first prototype, or alpha version. With an estimated time devotion of approximately 1 to 2 weeks for each of the unit's design and development, it is estimated that the alpha versions of all modules will be completed by early June. By June 30, 2020, the deadline set by teammate training, all alpha versions will be delivered. The end of July, July 31st, is the deadline set by the regional director. This discrepancy of 1 month allows for an additional review to take place as needed. July also sees the revision of the basic and advanced instructor training courses for use in the ILT events that will take place after the e-learning events have been completed. It will also see the start of the rebuilding of the Professional Instructor's Handbook, or PIH, that will accompany the Instructor Core Competencies training course. All work should be reviewed and completed by September 30th, when the Regional Director in Farborough proposes to hand off the beta to EASA for their initial audit and review. Barring any issues with the EASA auditors, final revisions for the completed concept throughout December, with the project of having a completion deadline of December 31st, 2020. January 2021 will see the LMS loading of the course with a corporate-wide release of January 4th, 2021. The previous courses were built by instructional systems specialists with no formal training or education in instructional design or technology. These courses were built in PowerPoint back in 2003 with no thought of or use of visual design, user interface, or professionalism. This course is going to differ in many concepts. First off, it will be built in Articulate 360, primarily Storyline 360 or Rise 360. This is going to provide a high level of design and development capabilities, including adaptability and a fluid design and delivery across multiple devices and platforms. Professionally developed supporting images and publications will be done in Adobe Creative Cloud. This includes audio, video, and animations. Camtasia 2019 will be used for video editing and screen capturing as necessary, and OBS Studio will be used for picture-in-picture demonstrations of flight safety proprietary tools and applications. Instructors will no longer be subjected to cartoonish images, poor resolution graphics, content that is stale and non-dynamic or engaging. In conclusion, while this project seems quite large, and it is also progressing well within the time limits and deadlines set both by teammate training and the regional director. Even with other projects coming across the desk, and as a matter of fact we have 2 emergencies projects thrown at us recently, the project is on track. The timeliness and month difference in deadlines allows for error and unforeseen events that inevitably take place in the world of corporate training. The course is going to be an all-inclusive, one-stop shop for instructor training, both current and future. It will be a living project with the ease of updating built into the design. Irrelevant and outdated information, including the original course itself, will be stripped out and revised as necessary. Only current data and required information will be presented. With the supporting and supplemental resources being built in-house, Flight Safety does not need to spend extra money on vendors or even moving the materials to another business unit within Flight Safety to develop. And to be honest, teammate training doesn't want any other business unit touching our material. The beta course will be delivered to EASA auditors by the end of September with a planned corporate release of January 2021. The original project was billed out to the other business unit, and they proposed a timeline of 16 months to build at roughly a cost of $250,000. Teammate training billed that out in 9 months with an overall cost of $75,000. This is why teammate training has been such in high demand since the new team was developed. The project team is listed on the right here and includes all of the main players. Thank you for your time, and if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me and I'll respond as quickly as I can.